We want to just dive into this thing? Greetings, friends. It's Josh.
And I'm Ryan.
Maybe?
Are we questioning it?
I am.
Okay. I'm not. I am Ryan. I don't know.
I am Josh. Ryan. I am Josh. That should be a movie. I am Ryan. Well, this is the Dead Tired Dads podcast. I do know that without question.
Correct.
And this is a podcast for gamers who do not have time to game. And we welcome you to this very, as always, very exciting episode.
Yes. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
You're still here.
Like
after
that
all this time, you're still here.
70s TV show. Welcome back, Dead Tired Dads podcast. Welcome back, Mr. Kata. Sorry, I'll stop. I will stop.
You never know where it's gonna go with this shit.
It's true. Oh man, soon we'll be talking about Scientology.
Whoa. I've got some thoughts. Is that what we're here for today?
Nope.
All right.
Big nope.
No, we're not. That's not what we're here for.
We are not going to touch on that that organization because that's how you get yourself killed.
That is the most surefire way to disappear.
Yeah. No, they will. Well, I guess we could get some. Maybe we should. They could give us some real. Maybe we get a boost.
Dude, is this how we get publicity by talking about Scientology?
Start bad-mouthing Scientology.
The strategy was there right in front of us all along.
Just have the Church of Scientology to start, like, we just need them to put our stuff out there. If we start bad-mouthing them, we'll get...
They get mad at us and come after us. Then we contact Leah Remini and we get on her show.
Boom.
It's all coming
together. Feel like another 70s show. The A-Team right there. Like, I love it when a plan comes together. Gosh.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Dead Tired Dads podcast.
Oh, man. Well, at least we have fun, right?
That's true.
Oh,
we do.
Man. So, a couple weeks ago on our last episode, our news episode for April, I talked about how I ended up getting a free T-shirt and a free, Blu-ray box set. So funny story about that free T-shirt that I got. Well, the free T-shirt I got technically was my daughter's shirt, but the one that I initially ordered. So I order, I'm pretty, slim guy, for the most part. So I wear mostly medium shirts, but also. I've talked on here about how I started going to the gym and working out a lot and doing things like that.
True.
And so, I ordered the medium shirt and I put it so. I'll back up a little bit. I had ordered it originally, and then they were like, "Okay, after I had the mistake and everything like that." And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and listen to the last episode. It explains everything. So I was waiting for it to come in the mail. And I'd kind of forgotten about it. Like, not forgotten about it, but I'd forgotten, how long it had been. And so, it was a Sunday morning, and we were getting ready to go to church. And I was like, oh, yeah, that, I should check on and see, where that is. And, I pull it up, and it says it's been delivered. And
nice.
So I was like, awesome.
Cool.
And so, I ran out to the mailbox to get it out of the mailbox and get it. And I was like, I'm just going to wear this today. And so I run back in, I open it up, get it out of the packaging, and I put it on. And Em is standing right there with me, and she kind of looks at me funny, and because I'm acting a little weird with the shirt. And I go, and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "These sleeves are too small." It's stupid, and I don't but working out regularly for 9 months, believe it or not, actually does
it makes you bigger.
It actually does make changes to your body. So this is just a big encouragement to anyone who's like, man, I can't, I couldn't do that. It's I'm not even trying, the thing is, I'm not going to the gym. I'm not trying to gain muscle. I'm not trying to be buff and big. I'm just trying to keep myself in shape.
Yeah.
Like, that's my whole goal. Like, I don't want to be sedentary, right?
Yeah.
I hate the gym. I hate like, I'm going because I know that if I don't, like, bad things are going to happen to me eventually.
Yep.
Right? And this is just a way to kind of delay those bad things. So, like, but, like, do it regularly enough, you are going to change your body. Like, it's true. It actually works.
It's real.
It's real. It's for sure. So,
Nice.
fortunately, the sleeves did kind of stretch out a little bit, like, as I wore it, and so it was okay. But, like, they were tight on my. It was, and it's like never something I ever thought I was going to experience. Like, and it was a very weird thing to, like, go through, to be like, wait a second, why is that?
What happened?
Why
here?
is that so tight? I don't like it. So anyway, I thought it was funny. So
I like it. I think it's funny too.
Go to the gym and work out so you can get big muscles.
Get
and
buff.
Hans and Franz are here to pump you up. All the television references today.
Nailing it.
All of them. Yeah. Man. Yeah, that's my anecdote for the week. What have you got, Ryan? Anything?
You know what's
Anything
funny
fun or
about that, Josh?
I don't know.
We never plan these things.
No, we don't.
What's funny about that is I was on my way over here, and I was getting ready to grab a shirt, and my wife and I have we both have the same shirt because it's like a shirt that we ordered from our kids' homeschool co-op.
Okay.
So it's the same exact shirt. It's just one is a men's extra large and one is a women's medium.
Okay.
And when we did laundry, I accidentally hung my wife's up with my laundry. So I was like getting ready to walk out the door as I pulled it on over me, and it was my wife's medium. And I think everyone who listens to the show knows us, but if you don't, I am what you would say prototypical dad bod. I'm not fat, but I do have the belly that says I've got 3 kids and I am rocking dad bod mode.
Right, yeah, sure.
So a women's medium does not fit,
right.
on me very well at all. So
Yes.
hilarious that we both had.
Well, so I mean, it's kind of the, like, you will either not fit into a medium shirt for one of 2 reasons, right? You can't fit into the medium shirt because your muscles are too big, so you need to get a large, or because your muscles aren't big enough because of pizza.
This episode is sponsored by Peloton and Papa John's.
Nice. Very nice. Oh, man. I love it. It's good stuff. It is good stuff. We are here to bring you laughs.
Yes.
That's what this is all about. So.
We have so much fun.
That we do. Oh, man. So this is our game review day.
Yeah, it's time to talk about some games.
Talk about some video games here. So, Ryan, I'm going to let you go first because I think mine we could talk for a while possibly on. So
that's actually really good because I was going to request to go first.
Okay, well, good.
Because I don't think we'll talk very long about it.
Okay, good deal.
So I kind of feel like I'm letting our fans down a little bit because my review is going to be a little bit lame. Maybe we'll
that's
see.
Okay. My review last month's games were because I had like 3 games and all of them were terrible. So.
It's all right. Part of the reason that mine is lame is I was still finishing up Persona 3. I hadn't finished it, and so I didn't get as much time as I would like with the new game.
Yes.
But I did beat Persona 3.
Woo!
So that was fun. That was cool. So then the game that I wanted to play more and talk more about is one that you've already mentioned. I think you did a review on, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Yes.
I was playing that on Game Pass.
Yes.
So much fun.
It is so much fun.
So much fun.
So much fun. See, okay, like this is the kind of stuff that I would love to have Game Pass for.
Yeah, and so actually one of the things I wrote down in my notes is like this is like a must-play co-op game.
Uh-huh.
Because what I did, so I played the first couple levels myself, and it was fun enough. I was having a good time, but then I was just like, I think across the top of the screen, maybe it shows you like where
the other players
could join or something.
Yep.
And I was like thinking about it. I was like, man, this would be so much more
so
fun.
much fun. Yeah.
If there was a few more of the turtles with me.
Yep.
So I just joined like a random lobby game, and none of us had a headset. There was 3 of us, and we just played for like a couple hours. We just rolling around, kicking butt as the Ninja Turtles, and it was just so much fun.
Yeah.
So I thought it was. There was like the nostalgia factor was perfect.
Oh,
I was like,
for sure.
I remember this so much.
Yeah.
The sort of the, I don't know if you want to call it like the hokiness of the bad guys when they first appeared was like just, it was so well done. And
that classic 80s
it was
appeal.
It's just like it was like so perfect.
Yeah.
And I noticed as I was playing that like it sort of meets all of the Tired Dad's criteria.
It really does.
Like couple of times that I played, my kids sat there and watched me. My 2 older boys sat there and watched, and they were having fun with it. And they liked the Ninja Turtles as well.
As they should,
because we raise them right.
That's right.
So it's family friendly to where your kids can watch. There's not some huge in-depth story where you've got to be paying super close attention. You can jump in and out. You can do a level in 8 to 10 minutes and then leave if you need to. So it's just like, I don't know. It was like a perfect Dead Tired Dad's game.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it's most of those classic games, like any game for the NES, right?
Yeah.
Would be like a good Dead Tired Dad's game, right? Because like you have to be able to like stop and you play it for a little bit and then you have to stop. So like the way that game is made is to be like the classic, games. It's going to be set up for that, I think. And so like I think that's a really cool. Like we were talking about at the beginning of the month, or what should have been at the end of April, but ended up being at the beginning of this month. How we were talking about how you need those kind of more games like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that more games like that become super, super popular.
Yeah.
That people want to talk about them and people want to like have those games. Those become like major titles that are coming out.
Yeah.
And so,
and that's kind of why I played it, because I just finished this game that took me, I think my final tally was like 96 hours, and I was looking at all these other games that I had and the games on Game Pass, and there's a lot of them that sounded fun, but it was just like, oh, I know how long that one is, and I was just like, I actually found myself like not wanting to play video games, because I was like, I just ran a marathon, I don't want to run another one, like, so, and that's kind of how I landed on.
Well, and it's like we were talking about in the last, like the idea of being like, of having too much of something, right? Of being like so overwhelmed with how much you could consume, right? And just being like, you kind of become paralyzed in like that decision making process, right? To like, I don't know, like, what do I want to play? And like, well, if I start on that, it's going to take me so long, but like, so totally get that for sure.
I have been wanting to play Fallout 4 because of what we talked about on that episode with the TV show.
TV show, yeah.
But I've actually already played it once, and I know how long of a game that is, and it's just like, I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I just don't want to deal with the length of that. And there was a couple other games that were the same way. Like they're on my backlog, but I just like, no.
Not gonna play them right now.
I don't have the stamina for it. It's like,
not right now.
I just want to play something for 20 minutes and then go to bed.
So have you had that, like, because like here's like, and I may have talked about this before, I don't know, but like I've had those moments where I've been up, especially when Tears of the Kingdom was first out.
Yeah.
And I was playing that like it was my second job. Like there were moments when I was playing it and I was having a great time with it, but I would just be running and like my eyes would just kind of close and I'd wake up and I'd like be running like into a wall, like climbing up a mountain. I'm like, oh wait, no, I need to go to bed.
Don't do that.
So
yes. Yeah, I multiple times with Persona, it is turn-based. So I actually fell asleep waiting for my turn. So I woke up like hours later, and the game was just waiting for me to take my turn.
At least it's not a timed turn-based thing, like, because there are games that are like that, right? Where if you don't make a move in a certain amount of time, yeah. See, RPGs are bad.
So, like, at least twice that happened where I was like, I woke up with controller in hand, just the game's just waiting for me to take my turn. And I was like, okay, it's bedtime, obviously.
Yes. Have you ever had those moments where something like that happens and you're like, I'm going to keep playing?
Oh, yeah, I had multiple of those, too.
What am I doing?
Especially, I knew roughly how close I was to the end of the game. And the closer I got, the more I just pushed through because I was like, I have got to finish this.
I'm going to get a cup of coffee so I can finish this game.
One night, it was a Friday night going into a Saturday morning, and I knew that I had between 10 and 20 minutes left. And it was midnight, and I was like, my wife was like, all right, let's go to bed. And I was like, I have 10 minutes left before the credits roll. Please just let me just be done with this. So she was like reading a book or something on the couch, and she fell asleep, and I finished what I thought was 10 to 20 minutes, and it was like another 45 minutes. And I was just like, but it was finally over, and I had almost the feeling of like, oh, thank goodness that's over.
Right,
so
right.
glad that's
and
done.
then when you woke your wife up, what, like, when she like, oh, I'm sorry, I fell asleep for 15 minutes, and then you were like,
no, she said, you told me it would be 10 minutes. It's been 45 minutes.
Why didn't you wake me up sooner and send me to bed?
And I said, I know, I thought it was only 10. I was wrong.
Nice. Oh, but anyway.
Yeah.
No, I had a ton of fun with Shredder's Revenge when I played it. I wish I had been able to play it more.
Yeah, it was a blast.
But that was back when we were trying to do like a game a week, right?
That was
like,
when talk about running a marathon.
Yeah, like, so I did not get as much time with that game as I would have liked. I really would have liked to have played that, had a lot more time with that, but
yeah, I it's one where I've been like trying to get people to download it on Game Pass so we can play together.
If I had Game Pass, I would play it with you. So this is another just kind of a call out to Dead Tired Dad's Nation. Like, just send Josh subscriptions.
Who's ready to
send Josh a subscription to Game Pass. That's all that that would be the biggest thing that you could possibly do.
Nice.
Just begging people at this point.
Just please let me play Game Pass.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
Good deal.
Revenge, and it was a blast, and people should play it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I am going to go to delve into the realm of AAA titles here.
Yes.
So I recently purchased Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
Awesome. So here's the thing. I want to do this preface thing here. I am not a Harry Potter nerd. I don't absolutely love Harry Potter and everything about Harry Potter. So I've read all the books. I read all the books growing up. I've seen all the movies. I watched all the movies as they came out.
All right.
But
you answered the two questions I had, so.
Right. So, but I'm not oh my goodness, Harry Potter is the best franchise of all time, and these are the best kids books ever, and they're great books. I've reread them as an adult. I enjoyed rereading them, but it's a good series. So I'm not mad Harry Potter person.
Ultimate Harry Potter fan.
But, I'm a big enough fan that the game looked interesting.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play it. So all that was, my preface on this.
It looks like a ton of fun, so I hope you tell me
so
that it is.
I'm going to do this because here's the thing. So far, I have not gotten that far into it. but
right.
it's what I've been playing, and so it's what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a part 1 is what I'm going to, like, Hogwarts Legacy part 1, and eventually there will be a part 2. I don't know if it'll be the next game review, or if it'll take me, several months, but
I like it.
But this is part 1, just as my initial kind of introduction to the game. So it's I don't know, like, one, it's very, like, there's this weird situation that's going on, like, to kind of give you an idea of what the story is. You are a 5th year student at Hogwarts.
Yep.
But it's your first year there. Like, you're old enough to be a 5th year.
Yeah.
And you are just thrown in there, and they're like, "Oh, you're special. You have this special ability
Of course.
that we've never seen before, and so you're special, and we're going to invite you to Hogwarts as a 5th year, even though you're, like, and so, like, it doesn't really explain, like, one of my beefs with the story. It's like, so was this kid a wizard that, like, thought he was a squib and didn't have magical powers and then gets the letter, or was this a muggle that, like, one day wakes up and is like, "Oh, I have magical powers," and like, and you're supposed to be like, they're supposed to, you, like, all summer long, you had, like, a special tutor that's supposed to be getting you caught up with everything and, like, teaching you everything that you would have learned in your first 4 years. And it's like, wait a second here.
Hold
like,
on a
there's
second.
just a lot of it that, like, from a story standpoint, just doesn't mesh.
That's
Like,
interesting, because why not just start out as a first year? But,
I guess the reason you don't do that is because you want the player to be more, like, you want it to, more players to be able to, like, because as a first year, you're like 12.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Like,
right?
you're like 11 or 12 years old.
Right,
So,
as opposed to, like, 17.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So, I mean, I don't know. I understand why they did it and, like, why they had to do it like that. But it just irks me.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense.
There's a better way they could have done it.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're going through and kind of being introduced to the world of magic and learning all the different things, and everyone else at your level has also forgotten everything, apparently. So you're learning all of these basic spells.
Naturally.
But yeah, the story. And it's interesting. Like, you want to know what's going on, but like I said, there's just something about it that irks me because it doesn't make the premise doesn't make any sense.
Sure.
In my head, and maybe it clears up as time goes on, but I don't know. It's a massive game. Took forever to download onto my Xbox, like, from the disc.
Yeah.
Like, for me to be able to play it. So there's that. And for the most, so at first I was like, man, like, I get to explore Hogwarts. This is great. Like, Hogwarts, and, like, you're, running around the school a lot, and, like, it's huge.
Yeah.
Like, the school is huge. Like, there's a lot to explore in the school. And then, like, it's like, oh, you're going to go to Hogsmeade. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. You'll go to Hogsmeade. And you'll go and, like, you can see all the town stuff there and visit around there. And then you get to visit the townships around Hogwarts and, like, go to other places near Hogwarts and all of these little small, like, areas. And then you realize, like, oh, this is absolutely
huge.
Massive.
Yeah.
Like, so flippin' huge. And there's so much to do. And as is my custom in games in which I have way too much to do and can explore everywhere and get easily distracted by things, I haven't made a ton of progress in the story.
What's over there?
Yeah, exactly. The problem is that unlike in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, where it's really easy to explore and to get around to those things, it's not easy to explore and get around. Like, you want to.
Yeah.
But it's not like you can't just climb up anything that you want, which, again, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not as fulfilling to like explore. Like you want to explore because there's so much to see and to do.
Yeah.
But it's not as fulfilling and easy to do as it might have been in some, in some other of those games like that,
right,
where that's part of what you do. So
gotcha.
So I've just gotten to a point where I'm like able to do certain things. I've started, picking up more combat skills and things like that. And that's another thing that so far has been really kind of daunting and frustrating. Like the combat is really challenging.
Oh, okay.
Or I have found it really challenging.
Yeah.
To like get a handle on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, obviously, with the Arkham games, with Spider-Man, or with anything like or the Assassin's Creed games, like you're fighting hand to hand. Like, you've got a sword, or you've got something where it's like, okay, you get close to them and you, like, or you have a bow and arrow and like you do that one, you take that one shot and then you move in close to, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The entire thing is obviously with a wand.
Yeah.
And so like trying to like figure out like the combat is actually really complex. Like they made it really complicated in my opinion. But on top of being complex, it's weird.
Yeah.
Like it's just a different way to do combat that that's not something that you're used to. So it has a couple of those kinds of things working against it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm making some headway in it. I'm hoping I've had a lot going on over the last month or so where I haven't been able to like invest tons and tons of time into it. I had some other stuff that I had to get taken care of that called for me to spend a lot of time doing some other things that I'm not usually doing. So I have not had the amount of investment that I might usually have in a month, but yeah, I'm optimistic about the way that it's kind of going.
Yeah.
And I think that it has good potential to be a fun, great game. As far as, so far with our kind of measuring sticks that we have in the Dead Tired Dads world, there is some objectionable content that I would not want, kids exposed to, that I've kind of run into. But that's more of my personal thing than it is something that I would say like a blanket, statement of like, hey, don't show this to your kids. Like there's some stuff that I personally find objectionable, that I'm okay seeing and dealing with, but not necessarily okay with my kids, dealing with. So, but when my kids have watched it, they've enjoyed it. So I mean, it's just kind of one of those be mindful situations, in my opinion. And I haven't had a chance to really dive back into it. I haven't played it in a little bit. I'm hoping that I'm able to just kind of pick it back up and figure out exactly what I'm doing. It does have fast travel, which we talked about a couple months ago, where there was that game that did not have fast travel in it, which I am, and again, like this kind of goes to that exploration aspect of it, where I do want to explore, but not enough that the fast travel becomes like I want to explore, but I'd rather just do the fast travel, which is kind of annoys me.
Yeah.
Again, like
that's fair.
There are so many things about the game that could be great, and then but there are just little ticks about it that annoy me that make me go, I wish it was.
This could be better.
I just wish the exploration aspect of it was more, was easy. I don't know if easier is the right word, but was more enjoyable. I don't know. There's something about it that makes me want to explore, but there are so many hindrances to exploration that I'm just like, just fast travel there.
Yeah.
Like, just take me.
Forget it.
Yeah, just take me to where I'm supposed to go. Even if I'm just in the castle, like even if I'm just at Hogwarts, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to like run around the school, but it's also like, forget it, like
Too much of a hassle.
too much work, just fast travel. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see how it plays out, but
Yeah.
I think it has potential. The story at least is pretty interesting, even if it does have its plot holes.
Yeah. That's good. So, is it an MMO or
No?
Is it? Do you have to be online to play, or can you play it offline?
You can play it offline, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. For some reason, I like when they first announced it, or like the first trailer or something. Like I had this impression that it was an MMO, and then as I watched some people play it, I was like, I don't think it is. So, but yeah, that's
No, it is not an MMO. I mean, I could see it being one, but
yeah.
So, and you get the opportunity to be sorted, and the thing is, like, you get to pick your house. Like, part of me wishes that it was just like randomly, like.
Yeah. So you're not really sorted. You
Right.
sort yourself.
Yeah, like you answer questions from the hat, and like you obviously know like when you're answering.
If you've
like,
ever read the books before,
right.
You know what these answers are.
Right. And then at the end, it's like, I think you should be in Hufflepuff. Does that sound right to you? It's like, no, I want to be in Slytherin. Like,
yeah.
Like, so I mean, it gives you plenty of opportunity to pick your house, which I mean, is fair. Like, because if it was completely randomized, then you could play it like 60 different times and end up in the same house.
Yeah.
And never end up in like, I've been in all 3 houses 20 times. I just want to be in Slytherin once.
That is interesting, but like almost, like not lore breaking, but it pulls you out of the experience
A little bit, yeah.
That's not how it works.
Again, I get it. I understand why they have to do it that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, so far it's been fun, and I hope it continues to be, and I hope that there's some more exploration aspects of it that kind of get worked out as I'm playing through.
Yeah. That's another game that I have wanted to play, but it's just like, oh man, that's gonna take so long.
Yep. Well, like I said, like I wasn't anticipating, because I don't do tons of research on games like that. Like I do, but like I don't like look into it because I don't want to know like a lot about it because I want to be surprised. I want to learn about it as I'm playing.
Experience it yourself. Yeah.
And so like I didn't, it looked interesting. I'd heard a lot about that were good things, and so I was like, I want to try it out and see what it's like. I was not anticipating the amount of just vastness that is there in the game that is available for you to explore.
One thing I'm interested about is I knew it was a very large game. It's either on Switch or it's coming to Switch.
Yes.
So like I'm very curious to. I probably won't play it on Switch. I'll probably play it on Xbox whenever I get around to it. But I'm just curious as to how it runs
that was
on the Switch and how it plays. 'Cause
I actually was going before I bought the Xbox. I was going to buy it. It came out I think around Christmas
on
Switch.
Okay.
I think, and I thought about getting it on Switch, and I never pulled the trigger on it.
Yeah.
And then when I got the Xbox, I was like, I'm gonna get I'll get Hogwarts on this.
Yeah.
So and just see how it plays out. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm excited. I would be curious to see how it ran on the Switch too. But
yeah, I'm just thinking about like a game that size.
Yeah.
How does it handle?
I mean, really, like performance issues. I've very rarely had. I talked a little bit about the Arkham game and having some performance issues on that.
Yeah.
But that was more in handheld mode. I think that was more of a product of having it in handheld mode than the actual problems there. But I don't know. It is massive though. I know that.
I guess The Witcher 3 and Skyrim are both available on Switch, so those are pretty massive games too. So
Yeah, and I don't know if it's with those because they're older,
Yeah.
like graphic, I feel like most of the graphical issues that you might run into with Hogwarts Legacy versus the issues that you might run into with some of those older games, the 360 era,
Yeah.
Games, PlayStation 3 era games.
That would be interesting.
Or PlayStation, that would be PlayStation 3 era games, right? 360? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, Witcher 3 came out for the PS4.
Okay.
But Skyrim came out for the
Well,
PS3.
Skyrim's been released on basically every console in the last decade, so
10 times over.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there are problems on the Switch though with it running,
handling it.
Yeah. But I maybe that I don't know though. I don't know, because I feel like
someone could just send us a copy and
we'll test it for it. Yeah, we'll test it for it.
It's the most logical thing to do.
That is the most logical thing to do here. So that we can tell you what the. Don't buy it for yourself and tell us.
Buy it for us. We'll tell you if you should buy it for yourself.
Yeah. That's how this works. That is how this works. So, but yeah, I mean, that's. Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, obviously you said that you'd want to play it.
Yeah, I do want to play it. I would probably categorize myself the same way as you. I've read. Actually, I have not read all the books. I have not read the 6th or 7th book.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
What is your problem? Have you watched the 6th and 7th movie?
Yes, I have.
Oh my!
I get so much flack for that from my family.
I get it. After the 4th book, it is really pretty much just okay, let's move this thing along.
Come on now.
I do understand. I really do, because the 4th book I think is the pinnacle of the series.
I've read the first 5 and the 4th one was my favorite. But yeah, so I like the books. I like the movies. I'm a fan of the franchise, but I am not a super fan.
Yeah,
by any means.
Not getting any Harry Potter tattoos.
It's funny. My sister-in-law. So I'm gonna give a shout out to my sister-in-law.
Okay.
She is a Harry Potter super fan.
Okay.
And I'm talking their Christmas tree is 100% Harry Potter decorations.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So
Fair
she
enough.
is a Harry Potter super fan. So I get a lot of flack from her for not having finished the.
Yeah, understand.
The books yet.
I can understand the flack for not finishing the books. So.
Yeah. So I definitely can't.
Does it is the star on top of their Christmas tree? Is it the Sorting Hat? Because I feel like the Sorting Hat being the tree topper would make a lot of sense.
I can't remember what the tree topper is. I'm trying to picture it.
But I think that would be a great idea for a tree
awesome,
topper.
though.
So if that's not a thing, someone should make it a thing.
But now that we've done this, because her and her husband listen to the show, so they'll tell me. They'll text me and tell me what the tree topper is.
It's a golden snitch, probably.
I will now know when they listen to this episode based on when they text me and tell me our tree topper is a such and such.
You'll get that text message in December.
I'll be waiting. So yeah. So anyway, I am very interested in playing it. I've heard good things overall. I have a couple people. I won't name names, but I have a couple people that I don't really trust their.
Okay.
I've got a couple people in particular that'll tell me, "Oh, this is the greatest game ever. This is the greatest TV show ever," and I'll watch it, and it's just no, it's not though. So you're wrong.
Meh.
So one person's told me just how absolutely wonderful, fantastic, greatest thing ever Hogwarts Legacy is, and so when that person said that, I was like, okay, so it's probably pretty good.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I know how to filter what they're saying a little bit.
Absolutely. We all have people like that.
So yeah, I am interested in playing it. It's just like buried deep in the backlog.
Right. No, like I said, I had wanted to play it, and so I was just like, I'm just gonna buy it because I had there was a used copy at GameStop.
Yeah, perfect.
And I had some GameStop money, and so
Yeah.
I was able to get it for a relatively pretty steep discount.
Yeah.
For a AAA title, I was
Even better.
I was pleased with it. So, I'll have more. Hopefully, I'll have more of an update as I play through it. And maybe I'll play through it and play something else so that I can buffer it all out. But
yeah.
That's part 1 of Hogwarts Legacy from me.
Nice. Hogwarts Legacy Part 1 and Shredder's Revenge.
Do you have anything else for the good of the whole, Ryan?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Okay. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Dead Tired Dads podcast. As usual, you should do all of the things like share, subscribe, and send us a question or something. I don't know. Do something.
Do something.
Do something.
Like that meme with the stick.
Yes, do something.
Do something.
But anyway, we thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode of the Dead Tired Dads podcast.
Bye.
Bye.